Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Amirah Talk Show. This is our 10th episode. Today with me is very important person. He is a motivational speaker, a spoken word artist, and an author of a book by the name Revive. So my dear friends, help me welcome Amir Abdurrahman. To many of us, Al-Amir. Welcome, bro.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And first of all, thank you so much for having me today. And I'm so happy and grateful to be on this talk show today. And thank you so much for your time and for the opportunity and the platform you have given me.
Welcome. I think the pleasure is ours. In as much as I am so excited to host you, I'm sure my viewers are also very excited to have you here. So welcome. My dear friends, today's topic is intention. Intention or niyyah is a very important thing in Islam. It is a traditional of our religion. It is a tradition of our religion that every action we take must be accompanied by an intention. You cannot do just anything for the sake of doing. You have to have the why.
The purpose.
Yeah. So what is intention to you?
First of all, I think the way you have said, intention is very, very valuable and important in our religion, because in the Quran, in the Hadith, in our Islamic knowledge and tradition, which was there for centuries, one of the most important things that the scholars have talked about is niyyah, it's intention. And intention to me is that purpose, is the reason why you do an act. Why are you doing it? What's the purpose for it? And so that's why even if you look at the hadith, if you take a simple example, the famous hadith that everybody knows is the one that says إنما الأعمال بالنيات. So and interestingly, this hadith appears in all hadith books. Each and every hadith book, the first hadith is this one. So before even they do. So it's very important. It's the core of Islam. It's like without it, it means there's no faith. Like the intention is everything.
Yeah, just as you said, intention is very important. Intention has a power of turning just a mere act into an act of worship if your intention is pure.
Exactly.
And maybe an act of worship to the opposite, now.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there is riya now, showing off.
Yeah. You cannot talk. It's hard to talk about intention without talking about riya, because it's like the opposite side of the coin. So when someone is doing an act, he's praying or he's reading Quran or he's doing something righteous deed, and then his intention is purposely to get the praise of the people or to be admired or to get the applause and people talk about him, something like that. It's riya. It's a very dangerous thing, and it's a form of shirk. It's a minor form of shirk, and the Prophet ﷺ has warned his ummah against this. And so when someone wants to do something, if he doesn't have that sincere good intention, and he is doing for a worldly gain or for something other than that, then it becomes a form of riya, which leads to his deed being nullified, is not being accepted, and it also brings the wrath and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah, and you, before the shooting, we were talking about riya, and you told me there are two forms of riya. Yeah, you explained that one form is the one you're directly showing off, that maybe you're reciting Quran so that people can hear you.
Exactly.
And say maybe you have a beautiful voice or something. And the second one, you said it's not doing something because you're afraid people will see.
Yeah, exactly. And I think at this point also we can engage our viewers as well, because they should also think about this one. Okay, we should brainstorm together. This an example. Let's say, and I have a talent and I want to use it to do khair. For example, let's say what we do on social media and stuff, and then you want to do something good with your talent, with your ability, and then all of a sudden there's that fear that comes in, that holds you back, and sometimes it is a whisper from shaitan, sometimes it's people trying to put that into your head and then you say, okay, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I do this, maybe Zakaria will say this, or maybe that person will say this, and
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. And we have said the intention is purposely doing something for the sake of Allah, knowing that He's the only judge, He's the only one who is a watchdog over our actions and everything. And so the moment that the fear of people comes in, kuna weakness your faith pia. That's what we can sense. And so it can be said that also on the other side is, if you have that excessive fear of people, every good thing, every khair you want to do, you fear people, you can't do, you can't. So it's a form of also it's the same thing that comes back, that you're showing you're doing it for, you're not,
the people.
you're not completely
you're afraid
sincere.
of what will people think,
Yeah,
maybe the judgment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There is a good example of that form of riya. Maybe somebody doesn't want to pray his or her fardh prayers on time because he's afraid maybe people will see me.
People will see me.
They will judge me.
See?
Yeah, so that's riya.
Yeah, that's a big problem also.
Yeah. So as we said, intention, having a pure intention is a very important thing in Islam.
In Islam,
and also in the
generally,
secular world.
in our life as well.
Yeah, in our life as well. Our life is based on Islam,
Exactly.
because Islam is our way of life.
Our way
but
of life, yeah.
in the secular world also, having a good intention is important.
Okay.
Before we started the shooting, I was live on Instagram and I was asking people the importance of having intention.
Good intentions, okay.
And there is somebody that said, without a good intention of doing something, maybe you have a goal or you have an action. So before doing it, if you don't put a niyyah that I'm going to do this and this, you're not, like, intention is your first step that you're going to take in order to continue with the journey. So it's important, because without taking the first step, you cannot reach anywhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I think it makes our life easier as well, generally, because when you have a good intention, it means you're sincere, you're honest, and you're dealing with people, in your relationships, in everything you're doing, like it facilitates, like there's that harmony you have, compared to when the person maybe has an ill intention, or he's not straightforward, or he's not sincere. No, his life, it doesn't look straight. But when you are clean, when you are straight, when you are sincere, like that means generally your life is good, and it makes a lot of things easier.
Yeah, that just reminded me of a story. During the time of Nabi Musa alayhi salam, there was a pious man that lived at that time. So this pious man used to worship Allah, and he would do anything for the sake of Allah, to earn the pleasure of Allah. So one day, some people came to this pious man and told him that there is a tree, a very big tree, that people use it as shade to worship idol. Like they worship idol under the tree as their shade. So this guy decided, let me cut down this tree for the sake of Allah, because I don't want people to worship maybe the idol. If maybe they worship under the burning sun, it will be hard for them, and maybe they will give up. So he went and started cutting down the tree. He took an axe, and as he was cutting down, Iblis appeared to him in form of an old man. So Iblis told him, why are you cutting down this tree? And the guy explained. He said, I'm doing it for the sake of Allah, because people are using it to worship idols. And Iblis told him, like, it's not your work to cut down this tree. If Allah wanted this tree down, Allah is a very powerful, like Allah is very powerful.
He can do it by in seconds or in milliseconds. Kun fayakun, and it's
it's done. Or he would have sent his prophets, because during the time of Nabi Musa, like Allah used to speak to Nabi Musa directly. He would have told Nabi Musa, go and destroy that tree. But he didn't. So why are you bothering yourself? This is none of your business. But the pious man did not listen. He continued cutting down the tree. So it reached a point whereby they started fighting with Iblis. So this guy overpowered Iblis, and he was about to chop off his head. So Iblis gave him a deal. He told him, I'm going to give you something that will benefit you in this world and will benefit you in the hereafter. So he told this man, I'm going to give you 2 coins every day, 2 gold coins every day. One of this gold coin, you can use it on yourself to buy the things that you desire, and one of them you can donate it to the poor. So you'll benefit in this world and in the hereafter. So the guy thought, okay, this is a good deal, and he went home. He stopped cutting down the tree and he went home. He slept. The second day when he woke up, he looked under his pillow and he found 2 gold coins. He spent one and the other one he gave out to Sadaqah. And then he continued with his day. So the next day he slept. He woke up, looked under his pillow, he couldn't find the 2 gold coins. He got so mad and took his axe and went back to cutting down the tree. As he's cutting down the tree, Iblis appeared again as the same old man. And he told him the same things. Why are you cutting down this tree? If Allah wanted this tree down, he would have just done it. Or he would have sent Nabi Musa alayhi salam. So it's none of your business. Stop cutting down this tree. And again, they couldn't agree. He continued, and they started fighting again. But this time, Iblis overpowered him, and he won the battle. So this guy could not understand, how comes the first time I overpowered you, and how comes this time you're overpowering me, and you're an old man. So Iblis told him, the first time you are doing this, cutting down this tree for the sake of Allah. So your intention were pure, and it was for Allah's pleasure. So Allah made it easy for you. But this time you're doing it to feed your anger and to feed your worldly desire to gain the coin. So Allah is not with you. He's not making it easy for you. That's why I won. So as you said, when you're doing it, when you're having a good intention, when you're doing something for the sake of Allah, Allah makes it easy for you. Yeah,
that's an interesting story. It brings the point home. I think when you do something, you are sincere, Allah is with you. You have the help and the assistance of Allah. But when you have other intentions, you are on your way.
Yeah.
Having good intentions, one of the big things that you can get as a Muslim or someone is that Allah loves you.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Quran, Allah told us clearly that He loves those who are sincere. And so when you are sincere, it means you gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. And that's a big thing. Once you gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it means that there's so many things that's going to open up for you, and you're on the straight path. There's a lot of things, yeah. The other way also, the opposite is also true. When you have bad intentions, you're not sincere. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you're not in good terms with your Creator. Yeah, it brings the anger and the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. So if you want Allah to love you, be sincere.
Yeah. You remember the story you were telling me?
Yeah.
I'd like you to tell our viewers about the people in Suratul Qalam.
Oh yeah, the people in Suratul Qalam. Okay, like basically there were 3 sons, and the father, they used to have a farm, big farm, and the father was a good man and a righteous person. So every time there's a harvest, he used to give a portion of it to the masakin and to the poor and the needy people in that area. Yeah. So later on, the sons decided that okay, their father is wrong to do this. And when the day of the harvest came, they went very early there. And what they wanted to do is that they wanted to make sure that before this masakin and the poor people come, they completely do away with the harvest and everything. They take it, all of it. They remove the portion of the masakin.
Yeah. Like they take everything for themselves.
Yeah. But surprisingly, when they went there, they found that the entire farm there's no farm, destroyed completely. Yeah. And after that is when they realized they have made a mistake. So from the beginning, they had that bad intention already, that they want to make sure that the masakin and the people don't get any form of assistance from this harvest. So with that bad intention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed them that, okay, this is not even your own farm, this is not something that you have in control and you can do whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a sign to them, it was a wake up for them, and then they realized they were on the wrong path. So having that bad intention sometimes, even if before you do the thing, it precedes you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it precedes you. And this is something like the person makes, okay, even on the other side, even when you have a good intention, let's say the way you said you wanted to fast, but you became sick. You are recorded for that. Or you wanted to do something khair and assist people, and then something happened before you did. You are recorded for that good deed, even if you haven't done.
So you are given it in advance.
In advance, yeah.
How merciful.
Yeah, even the Prophet ﷺ, there was that time, like the people wanted to go jihad, but some were sick, some didn't have, they were injured, others were not completely ready. And then he said, if you have that intention, then that means it's as if like you went with us jihad and did all these good things will be written for you. Yeah. And the Arabs say that they have a saying that say قد يبلغ الرجل بنيته ما لا يبلغ بعمله, that a man can reach a level or a rank with his niyyah, other than with his niyyah, there's something that he cannot even reach with his actions. Like you can reach a rank which you cannot even reach with your actions, with your intention if it is good. So
that's whatever you just said is a very good thing, and it reminded me of a story of the prostitute. This prostitute was like, she did all the bad things. She deserved to go to hell if you judge her by her deeds. But she just did one good act of feeding
the dog.
A dog. She saw a thirsty dog and she removed her shoes, took some water to the dog and
gave it.
And that earned her Jannah. So her good intention earned her Jannah. So she just reached a level that her deed
could not. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
One sincere act, like it might be small. In Islam, by the way, quantity doesn't matter. In Islam, quantity doesn't matter. The quality of the deed is what matters. That's why even the Quran, Allah tells us, أيكم أحسن عملا. He didn't say أيكم أكثر عملا. Like أحسن, which means like the quality. The quality and the level of sincerity that matters. People give out things that they need themselves. They might be poor, they may be needy. Maybe somebody has only 1,000 shillings. That's all he has. And let's say I have 100,000 and I give 2,000 and he gives that 1,500. He's left with only 500. So it matters also. It makes difference.
So we talked about intention, and you said when you talk about intention, you cannot talk about intention without talking about riya. And riya is showing off.
Exactly.
And then we talked about the importance of having a good intention, or the effect of having a bad intention. So maybe somebody is watching us, and as you said, sometimes you can start with a good intention to do something, and then in the middle maybe Iblis come to you and he convinces you, and you end up having
a bad intention.
And then maybe you start with a bad intention, but maybe due to the good deeds you are doing in the middle, Allah purifies your heart. And so maybe there is somebody watching and he is wondering, or she is wondering, like, how can I purify my intention?
First of all, I think all of us, we know this has been, even in our tradition, when the scholars discuss it, it's easy to know that it's not easy. Like this is a very difficult battle. It's a very difficult battle, because matters of the intention at times, it's not easy. It's not something that somebody can say, do this, and then your intention is purified. So it changes with time, and the very first thing we need to do, I think, is we need to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us firm. Even the Prophet alayhi salam, even though he was a prophet, he knew his level in the Quran, everything was clear. Aisha radiallahu anha, he says, one of the dua he used to make frequently is, Allahumma thabbitni, Allahumma ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dini. So we need to ask for that firmness in religion and in faith. It's only Allah who can keep our hearts clean. Sometimes we may try different things, we may struggle, but it may not end good. So the first thing I'll always say is we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's this dua I think I heard once, and if you fear that riya and that showing off and everything, you read this dua. اللهم إني أعوذ بك أن أشرك بك وأنا أعلم وأستغفرك لما لا أعلم. Sometimes you might be doing something, you might be in riya, but you're not conscious of your heart.
Yeah.
So you already make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect you and to preserve you from that thing.
Yeah.
And so I think the very first thing is dua. Secondly, we need to know that it's only Allah who has everything in His hand. Like sometimes people may do something just to gain that, to gain something from other people, for admiration, for praise, and all these things. As you say, these things are illusions. They're not even there. So it's always good to have that conviction that only Allah can bring benefit to my life, and only Him, with His permission, that can a bad thing happen to me.
Yeah.
So once you believe that and you know that, it means that you have that true conviction that only Allah can bring any good. So you are not going to seek validation or to run after people, or you will not do that, because you have that conviction that
or
it's
you
only.
will not stop doing good deeds.
Yeah, exactly. On the other way around as well.
Yeah.
You will not stop doing good deeds because you fear people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to have that belief as well, that it's only Allah who can bring goodness, and with His permission, only bad things can happen.
Thank you. As you're taking an action, or as you want to do something, maybe be conscious of Allah. Like,
Allah.
what will
Taqwa.
Allah?
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Yeah, like asking yourself, what will Allah think of this action that I'm about to do? And your intention will be pure, like automatically.
Exactly, because the level of taqwa also is like it's directly proportional to your sincerity.
Yeah.
Like someone who has bigger taqwa and is very pious, we can say that his heart is clean and his intentions, chances are high that they are clean as well.
Yeah. So since for you to have a good intention, you have to be conscious of Allah.
Of Allah, exactly.
So
That's true.
Also the things that remind you of Allah can give you, like, make you conscious of Allah, therefore make you have good intentions. So do azkar, make
read
dua,
Quran.
read Quran, everything that reminds you.
All the righteous good deeds.
Yeah. So this marks the end of our discussion, but before we end this discussion, I'd like you to, we've said you're a spoken word artist, so first of all, tell our viewers, because I think you're very talented as an artist. So tell our viewers where they can find you. Maybe you have an Instagram, Facebook, the social media handle, and also you have a YouTube channel, so that they can subscribe to your channel.
Okay, thank you. And so I use elcamiry, that's my stage name, or what I use on social media. You can find me on YouTube, elcamiry, Instagram, Facebook, and these other social media platforms. Yeah, we can connect there.
You can send me the link so that I can keep it in the description.
Okay.
Yeah. So you said we are going to conclude with a poem. Is it a poem?
Spoken word poem.
Yeah,
I can say so.
With that, because the other time we hosted a poet, and our viewers were asking me, like, why didn't you ask her to recite a poem for us? So, Bismillah.
So, Bismillah, and since we are talking about intention, it's good to read something that's similar to the discussion, right?
Okay.
So, in my book, Revive, which is a spoken word poetry book, I have this piece known as Sincerity. So, it's a very short poem. I'll recite this one. So, religion is all about sincerity. It's about practicing honesty and acting with integrity. It's about making your intention a priority. It's about avoiding all types of impurity and focusing on the quality of your deeds rather than quantity. Only what is done for the sake of Allah will last. Everything beside that will eventually turn to dust. In Islam, sincerity is a must, a prerequisite for every genuine task. The biggest trait of a true believer is ikhlas. A small deed done with ikhlas can surpass many great deeds that lack ikhlas. That's sincerity. See the power it has. It's always up to us to practice ikhlas before witnessing the curse of turning our deeds into ash. Whatever you do, do it from your heart. Be real and genuine from the start. In the world we live today, this might be difficult and hard, but we must practice and learn sincerity as an art. It's not about how we appear. Sincerity, it's not about how we appear. And I think this one is the hadith of the Prophet that we know. He looks at your heart, right? It's not the way you appear and everything. It's your private life that truly matters. Allah loves those who are sincere. Ikhlas is your greatest weapon against shaitan. Be sincere in every word, in every action. purify your intentions to fulfill your highest potentials. So that's the short poem.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
It's a very good one, and it's
Yeah,
relatable
it
to
actually
everything
highlights the
we
things
just
we've
said.
talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the end of our discussion. If you're new to this channel, kindly make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. Ma salam.